Very patient. 6 balls, 7 and 9. Net machine is on, and TV changeovers. TV. Any questions? Jurgen. Head. Tail. Receive. Receive. Yep. 2 minutos, 2 minutes.
Gracias.
Un minuto, 1 minute. Rafael Nadal gana el sortejo. Electo recibir. Nadal won the toss and chose to receive. Jurgen. Tiempo.
Her Majesty the Queen of Spain is here. We now have the King of Clay about to start his bid for this title. A title he won, of course, indoors on a hard court back in 2005. Will he regain it come Sunday here on clay? He's had a few things to say, of course, Nadal, in the build-up to this event, about its place in the schedule, about the altitude, about the courts, about the overall facility. But right now, it's time to let his racket do the talking. Exhibit A of Melzer's style of play, and something he'll look to do as much as he can. The phone was ringing. I don't think it's for him.
Is where's it from?
It's coming from the...
I thought at first it was Melzer's phone. He was running to the court to pick it up. I'm mistaken, however.
Trying to settle.
Yeah, see, and that's where a little bit of altitude is great for Melzer, because the ball travels a little more quickly through the air. If he can have enough control and enough quality tennis, he might be able to make an impression today.
Just the one career title he has. That was in Bucharest back in 2006. Against a man who's already won 5 this year. Straight back at him is going to be a good return.
Not only will Nadal make adjustments in his return, he'll also make adjustments in how he responds to the next play. And he was already sprinting forward to cover Melzer's volley.
But a very positive start, coming in whenever he could, and for the most part doing well at the net. So the first game on the board.
Cameras, when it with the autofocus.
It happened at once, I think, and let's see if it happens again.
It's all the time. It's
oh,
before
you can hear
every
it more than me.
You know, when he fixes somebody,
yeah,
and then before he touches it, then
so it's not a beep beep, it's like a click click. You're hearing the...
it's a beep beep and then the click.
Plenty of those around, and not the first player this week to have complained to the umpire about the photographers and the noises. And of course, these kind of high-backed, high-sided arenas, the sound perhaps amplified more than it would be on an open court.
You know, maybe Melzer wouldn't mind so much if the cameras were on him. So they're all focused on the world number one. But he's not the first person in the world to complain about those motor-driven cameras. I mean, those things really make a fair amount of noise driving that film courtside. Can be quite a disturbance because it really suddenly comes up very quickly.
So this camera is making noise, pardon English. Thank you.
Thought for a moment that had dropped in, but called out. The breeze seemed to blow it back in play.
Look like it's touching. It is touching. Yep. It's good.
You know, and that's a fair amount of sportsmanship there from Nadal. I mean, he came to check out that line to make sure that it was a correct call.
So pizza, 50.
So they'll take that man away. the linesperson.
Kinsey was 15 on.
38 match wins already this year, and on a 30-match win streak on clay since he lost last year in Rome to Juan Carlos Ferrero. And also a standing run, as we see his Uncle Tony there, and Carlos Costa on the left-hand side of that picture, former player and now agent of Rafa. But a remarkable run against left-handers, 19 wins in a row. Chris Guccione, the Australian, the last one to beat him in Sydney back in 2007. Seized upon the shorter ball, and that's what he's going to have to do as well if he's going to make an impression. Yeah, that is a big-time forehand. It's had so much acceleration on the ball. Melzer did a nice job of getting in a good swing. Missed it wide. So Rafa up and running well. Some of those things he said about this tournament, he said, well, it's a serious problem so close to Paris. It would be better if Rome were the last event before Paris, since the altitudes are similar. And as to the suggestion that this might become the 5th major, the Ontiriac Dream, as a mixed event, well, he said there are 4 Grand Slams, not 5. And the altitude here really takes that high spinning ball, and you can see it has quite a bounce. These clay courts here are very hard. Took that well again, cuts off the threat. Had he stayed back, would have been under pressure, but the pressure there at the net dealt with comfortably. Yeah, and you watch Melzer with his effectiveness coming in behind the serve, and you wonder why hasn't he been able to make an impression at Wimbledon? Because he certainly has the makings of a great grass court game. But I just don't think he's been able to manage the ability to play consistently well over a long period of time. 3 out of 5 sets. He's been to the 3rd round there. But you feel as if he has the potential to go further. There in the end.
40-15.
And Melzer's quite good at little improvisational drop shots like that.
It's a good disguise, wasn't there? In that little forehand he pushed down the line. Rafa perhaps expecting it cross court. Well, it wasn't called out, but it is out according to the umpire. Steve Ulrich out of his chair very quickly.
See it, bro? Yeah.
But it seems like these
You'll see it when you get over
linespersons
there.
are trying
Try
to
it,
give
try it.
Nadal some calls. He doesn't really need the help.
Juego Melzer. Melzer gana 2-1. Melzer leads 2-1.
So the return flew wide, and it is indeed a game to Melzer, 2-1. Encouraging start for Jurgen Melzer.
Tempo.
This third round meeting with Rafael Nadal, the winner to face either Mladen Cilic or Filip Kohlschreiber.
Sentenze, por favor.
Melzer showing his own kind of trickery, particularly at the net, the little dink shots that he's very capable of, and taking time away from Nadal, not allowing him as yet to get into a big rhythm at the back of the court.
Sentenze, gracias.
But maybe that will change.
Joachim Nyström, Swedish man who's now working with Melzer. When he was a player, I got the most out of his game. Also a great doubles tandem with Mats Wilander.
Different style of play, wasn't he, though, to Melzer?
Yeah, but I think he'll instill in Melzer a little more sort of mental capability. Sort of strategic acumen to stay with the plan and not get so emotional. Something that the Swedes always seem to master. Not a bad idea from Melzer. You know, you have to be willing to go for your shots today. And the longer he stays in the rally, the more rhythm he gives Nadal, the more he allows the world number one to find his game. When he gets it right, it's a pretty awesome game, isn't it? I mean, that forehand had so much behind it. He stood up well to some strong play from Melzer in that game. So warming to the task, and now just doing a little maintenance, cleaning up his side of the court. They like to see that baseline so they can really measure their place in the court.
Stood up to that well. Not easy, the sun in his face with the overhead.
Yeah, and an awkward return. When it comes off the frame like that, the ball's not traveling in a clean arc. It's all bumping around through the air.
A good ratio so far, winners to unforced errors. That's going to be one of the tests, though, isn't it? What Melzer can do with that volley.
Yeah, down low, and yeah, you want to just probably be moving a little bit backwards when you see Nadal coming in behind that forehand. Yeah, nice serve into the body. And so far, I think Melzer's done a nice job playing with variety on the serve. He's attacked the three main parts of the box, the corners in the center, and then been bending it into the body at the right times as well.
Wait, please.
Is this the way to go or that way?
Seems the sunshine, the heat perhaps has got to one of the ball kids. One of the model ball girls. Need to cool down
Take her off in the shade.
as quickly as she can.
Wet a towel.
Perhaps she swooned at the sight of being so close to Rafa, but seriously, let's hope she's all right.
Come on in. What up, you?
Temperature in the high 70s. No distraction for Melzer. Good serving so far. 3-2 score.
Tempo.
Continuing to do well against the world's best. A good test for Rafael Nadal.
Por favor, gracias.
Melzer has yet to drop a point on his first serve. 8 out of 8. He's won on that. 4 out of 7 on his second. Saw the room and seized upon it.
And if you are going to take a ball on the rise like that, you need to do exactly what Melzer did. Short backswing, very compact and very solid right at the hit. A nice move by Nadal. He went right back into the backhand that Melzer had just hit for a clean winner. Challenged him to do it again.
Very nearly. Just wide. See how much he was stretched out trying to make that. Again, Melzer getting a good width on the ball. So he gives himself the come on. Nadal levels again.
Yeah, both players off to a good start, and Melzer needs to continue that, because you feel once he surrenders his serve, the set will be lost. So he's got to stay aggressive. He has to count on more first serves. You really have to be a quality maintenance supervisor. You've got to maintain a real high level of play.
Again, judged it right, let it go.
Yeah, and that's a real skill, having an eye for letting a ball go or actually having to play it.
Trying to gain 30-15.
Bit of a petulant kick. He doesn't seem totally happy with things at the moment, does he? He's come here a bit under sufferance. Had it not been in Spain, I'm not sure he would have turned up. Being an altitude event so close to Roland Garros, but here he is.
Trying to wireless.
Trying to drop it just over, but it wouldn't go. And Jurgen ruining that. The first break point of the match.
You know, it's hard to be critical when you're volleying, but that is a shoulder high volley. You feel he could have just hammered that one, you know, hit it hard and deep, and maybe drop volleyed on the next one.
Great return, the first opportunity, so well taken. Nadal forges ahead.
New balls. Nadal and Water trace. Nadal leads for 3. Tempo.
Ahead for the first time today, Nadal. Bounds out of his chair to try and press his advantage. Melzer left wondering about that missed volley. Set up the break point, and a terrific return from Nadal. Passing the oncoming Austrian. Only another 52 matches and he'll better his best ever winning streak on clay. Of course, that marvellous run he had, 81 consecutive matches on clay from April 2005 to May 2007. You wouldn't put it past him, would you?
Yeah, that's a little bit of bad luck for Melzer. He just didn't do enough with that one. And this one, well, the tennis gods weren't smiling down on him. They were looking on their number one man, Nadal.
Can't do more than that. Following up the break with a love game.
Yeah, you can see how valuable serve is when you're taking on Nadal. He protects his so doggedly. And it's difficult to attack. Melzer took some early swings, but he's just backing off a bit.
Another great, watching one of the greats of this game. And good recognition around the arena. One of the Galacticos. Gets him again. Not enough pace on it, and he got into a great position on the ball very quickly.
15-40.
Coming off the rails at the moment, Melzer. The break against him, and now in danger of another and losing the set. 2 points for Nadal to clinch it. Another double fault, one more in that set. He'll want to cut those out from here on, but it is Nadal back in the chair with a comfortable lead.
On our way after this match, and there's our friend Jose again. Let's hope he doesn't overdo it like he did earlier, which led to a nasty fall for Novak Djokovic. And if that was to happen to Rafa, well, you could be sure of one thing: Jose would be signing on tomorrow morning. It does seem to take a little longer than normal to get the courts ready at the change of set.
Tempo.
But it's been done. They're all checking Rafa's end of the court now to make sure that's not got any slippery bits. Never mind what's happening with Jurgen Melzer.
Segundo set.
And of course, it's an uphill task for the Austrian. Back to the box and lead for Mark. And Barry, I apologise.
That's all right, you're forgiven. Thank you. A mistake-free first set from Nadal. Officially no unforced errors from him at all. 7 winners. So an even tougher time, it seems, for Melzer ahead. As soon as he got the opening, he took it, and he hasn't looked back from there.
Yeah, he just felt like Melzer lost a little bit of focus, a little bit of belief that he could actually make an impression here today. But if he can just remember those first 3 service games when he did play well.
So deep, playing out of the shadows and being overshadowed again. And he had to do more. He seized upon, again, the chance to come in and attack the second serve that was short, but so quick, racket speed through the ball, that pass.
Yeah, and how quickly does he react to that kind of play? Just a remarkable athlete who's only getting stronger. It's amazing to think he's only 22. You know, he's already on top of the world, and he just seems like he gained so much from being number 2 in the world for so long. You know, and as bad as that was for him, 160 weeks, I think it was, I think it made him a stronger player. It made him, you know, develop more parts of his game. So I guess Federer can blame himself. He created all these monsters who were challenging him. And surpassing him.
Day off for Federer today in terms of competition. No doubt he'll be practicing ahead of his 3rd round matchup. will it be against James Blake or Ivo Karlovic? Well, we saw earlier on Karlovic taking their first set on a tie-break, but Blake has responded, taking the second set 6-4, and they're on serve in the third at 2-3. Blake serving again. And also mention Kohlschreiber and Cilic, the guys fighting for the right to face the winner of this one. They are tied at 4-all in their final set. Cilic was a break up in that.
And the strategy that Melzer is using today off serve, it's not new when you're playing someone who is defending so aggressively. I remember Johan Kriek, the great South African player. He played Bjorn Borg at the US Open 1980 semifinals. He won the first 2 sets, serving and volleying. And volleying with short angle, with drop shots, and forcing Borg to run long distances forward into the court. And he won the first 2 sets. It was an amazing achievement just getting to that point. But I can remember the changeover when he sat down, up 2 sets to love. He sat down and went, whoa, I'm up 2 sets to love. And that was pretty much the end of the match. I think Borg won, I don't know, maybe started like 3 or 4 games in the final 3 sets. So you can never let your foot off the accelerator, never lose your focus against these great champions. And that's what happened to Melzer in the opening set. Great 3 first games, and then lost it.
All Melzer could do was watch it, a loop on the ball.
15 love.
Fascinating. We heard Jan Tiriac talking before this match, the interview, and about the different dynamic on the ball now that Nadal hits. A new thing in the game. He feels the way he works the ball. Talked about this man playing the drums compared to Federer playing the piano. And he beats it there. That's not so sure.
Yeah, got it.
Well, it's hard enough facing Nadal. He doesn't want the crowd against him.
But do you think the crowd's for him? I mean, they're like ganging up on him right now. You can see that Nadal recognizes in these conditions that he needs to be more aggressive as well. First swing, and he's going after it.
Again, so dominant on his serve. Holding with plenty to spare. Hasn't taken him long. 2-1 second set.
Tempo.
Juan de Ramos, coach of Real Madrid, also present this afternoon, a big crowd watching, with Raul present as well. As Nadal goes about his business and going about it very well.
Por favor, gracias.
Gonna play it shorter than that.
So pizza at love 15.
Yeah, and this is Melzer's favorite play. So for him to misplay it as badly as that, you know that the moment, the stage, the man across the net is really having an effect on him.
It's Iguanas, 15 all.
It's a wonderful opportunity to test your skills, but if the moment gets to you, it's hard to find your best tennis. What's making it so tough now is Nadal is seeing the serve a little earlier, getting more balls back into play. Melzer is having to play some difficult volleys.
Yeah, Tom.
And again, Nadal drops it like a stone back over the net, dipping that ball so much harder for Melzer to make anything of it from there. Hot, hard work for him. Nothing doing behind that volley, and so many now are missing. Having hit the target well at the start, but playing the mighty man himself, and of course so many records Nadal has. I was looking at record streaks just as a comparison, different sports. You think the 81 matches he won on clay. I was thinking of racket sports. Jahangir Khan, remember the great squash player from Pakistan? He won 555 matches in a row between 1981 and 1986.
Jeez.
And he won one of those titles during that run without dropping a point. But it was interesting to see how he was described as a guy who basically was the fittest player on the tour, and he beat his opponents with long rallies at a ferocious pace. Sound familiar?
It's the Rafael Nadal of that sport. Although in terms of tennis, Chris Evert, 125 match win streak on clay. That was pretty impressive. I think it was Tracy Austin who toppled the Ice Maiden. How good is that? You know, you're playing in altitude, and if you don't get enough over the top of that ball, it sails on you, but Nadal just gets enough to bring it down just inside the baseline. Way too good.
Touch of the kamikazes there from Melzer.
40-15.
Look at that, he's not perfect.
I can't believe that. I mean, he is playing so sloppy. One unforced error.
Yeah.
He's been kept busy. Say goodbye to that game. The match going very well indeed. Nadal less than an hour, 2 games away from the next round. Plenty of happy Spanish fans around this main arena, basking in the sun and lapping up Nadal's play so far. Highly impressive day for him. Melzer good for the first 6 games, but the bubble burst after that. Just where he wants it.
He doesn't mind playing deep in that backhand court, yet he's still able to find space to hit into. I mean, he's standing in the shadow back there.
Just the balance and the timing, the movement, all
15-30.
so expert there.
And normally when you're that far back, you have to take an extra step or two, but that doesn't bother Nadal, who is so good with his legs and getting himself into position. Now that's what it takes, a perfect serve right on the line. Had Melzer been able to put in more first serves today, you know, good aggressive first serves with maybe double digits and aces, he might have been able to make more of an impression, because when he's not getting his first serve in, he's in real trouble on the second ball.
And you can understand his frustration trying to hit the ball out of the arena. And he'll be heading out there soon.
I mean, you almost feel like, you know, why warn the guy? You know, I hope he doesn't get a fine for that kind of thing. It's one of the more entertaining things he's done in the second set, sadly. He just hasn't been able to produce, and you know, there's just such a bubble of pressure in here, and it's all behind this man, who just manages these moments so well.
So 15.
And you look at the draw, his portion of the draw, you just feel as if, Cilic is in there possibly as a player who could trouble him. Verdasco is the one person who maybe has a kind of firepower and the clay court sensibility that he could maybe rock Nadal. But if the world number one is vulnerable at all, he's not really showing it. He certainly has been testy in the lead up to this match. I mean, I think this is the safest haven for him when he's actually playing a match. He doesn't have to worry about all the other interviews and things.
A great point, even with the sandstorm blowing across the court as he went about his work again. But a great point you make. I think exactly that out on court, with all the distractions, all the extra pressure, the expectation coming up with the French Open defence and the Wimbledon defence, that he will be so happy out on court. That will be his best space, so therefore he's still going to be formidable and so difficult to stop, whatever the surface.
Trying to Keynes, 30-15.
I tell you, if Cilic is going to threaten him this week, he's going to have to pull his socks up quickly. He's down 1-4 in a final set tiebreak now with Kohlschreiber.
If there is a style of play that Nadal has trouble with, it's, heavy, flat ground strokes. Guys like Burdick, Nadal, Simone. I'm just not sure if there are enough players like that in the draw. Djokovic possibly in his half. And Simone is in there at the very bottom of that half, and I'm not sure Simone can reach the semifinals to play Nadal, but just looks like a good potential run for Nadal.
Match point in front of Her Majesty. Regal progress for Nadal through to the third round. Once he got the break, that was all he needed to go on from there and dismiss Melzer in straight sets.
Yep, no problems as anticipated for Rafa in front of royalty. Is he heading towards yet more silverware at the end of the week?